So our first item is life membership fee. In order to become the member of the organization, so members pay this fee in lump sum and they get benefit for their whole life. So it is of a non-recurring nature, therefore it is a capital receipt. In receipt and payment account, it will be recorded on the debit side and in balance sheet liabilities side.
So another important term is subscription. Subscription is basically a fee which members pay yearly in order to subscribe the membership. So there may be a gym subscription, newspaper subscription, and it is the main source of income for non-profit organizations. Subscription, since it is of a recurring nature, every year members subscribe their membership. So it is of a revenue receipt. And in receipt and payment account, it is recorded on the debit side. In income and expenditure account, it is recorded on the credit side. Two items related to subscription are outstanding subscription and advanced subscription. Outstanding subscription is one in which the subscription has been earned but the money is not yet received. Another term for it is accrued subscription. Since the amount of subscription is earned and it is not received, therefore it is treated as an asset. Whereas in advanced subscription, the amount is received, but subscription is not yet earned. Since the amount is received and it is not yet earned, it is a liability for the organization. Endowment fund is a fund which arises from the gift and the income of which is devoted for a specific purpose. Since it is devoted for a specific purpose, it is a capital receipt. In receipt and payment account, it is recorded on the debit side, and in balance sheet, it is recorded on the liabilities side. Next term is entrance fee. Entrance fee is the amount which is basically paid by a person when that person becomes a member of the non-profit organization. It is of a recurring nature. It is recorded in the receipt and payment account debit side and income and expenditure account credit side. Another term is donation. Donation is basically a gift. That gift could be in cash or kind, which is received from any person or any organization who basically wants to help the NPOs. And there could be two types of donation, specific donation or general donation. Talking about general donation, it is a donation in which the donor who donates, that person doesn't specify where that donation amount has to be used. And since nothing is specified, it could be used for any purpose. It is a revenue receipt and it is recorded in the receipt and payment account debit side, income and expenditure account credit side. Talking about specific donation, in this the donor specifies the purpose for which that donation will be used. For example, the donation may be for building, donation for swimming pool, or donation for parking area, donation for establishing a ground. Since it is for a specific purpose, it is a capital receipt, and in receipt and payment account, it will be recorded on the debit side, and in balance sheet, it will be recorded on the liabilities side. Legacy. Legacy is basically the amount which is received as donation from the will of the deceased person. It is a capital receipt. In receipt and payment account, it will be recorded on the debit side, and in balance sheet, it will be recorded on the liabilities side. Another term is sale of old newspapers and sports material. Now, this is a revenue receipt, and in receipt and payment account, it will be recorded on the debit side, income and expenditure account, credit side. Another term is honorarium. Honorarium is basically the amount which is paid to the person who are the speakers or the guest persons, maybe for giving some lectures or some professional doctors who come to visit. And that amount which is paid is known as honorarium. Honorarium is a revenue payment. In receipt and payment account, it is recorded on the credit side, and in income and expenditure account, it is recorded on the debit side. Grant from government. In order to run the non-profit organizations, government also give them some grants. So it is of a recurring nature. So it is a revenue receipt. In receipt and payment account, it is recorded on the debit side, and in income and expenditure account, it is recorded on the credit side. Another very important term is cost of goods consumed. There are different items which are being consumed by the NPOs, non-profit organizations. For examples, in sports clubs, sports material is consumed. In hospitals, medicines are consumed. In offices, stationery is consumed. So these organizations consume consumable items. In such case, a separate stock account is prepared for each consumable item to determine how much amount is being consumed during the year on such item. And goods which are consumed, they are basically debited to the income and expenditure account. Income and expenditure account will show correct surplus or deficit only if the goods which are consumed are debited to the income and expenditure account. So therefore its calculation is important. So how it is calculated? So amount of items which are consumed during the year, that can be calculated, in which opening stock of consumable items we add the purchases, closing stock is deducted, and that balance is to be shown in the income and expenditure account. So this may be a part of a full-fledged question of final accounts which will come in exam, or it may come as a separate question of 3 mark, how to calculate the cost of goods consumed. Now let us study the treatment of subscription with the help of an example. So from the following extract of receipt and payment account and additional information, compute income from subscription for the year ended 31st March 2018 and show it in the final accounts of the club. So receipt and payment account, the subscription received during the year is given 1 lakh, whereas additional information about outstanding subscription and subscription received in advance is given of previous year and current year. So we have to show how subscription will be recorded in the final accounts, that is the income and expenditure account and balance sheet. So talking about income and expenditure account, income and expenditure of current year are recorded whether received or not received, whether paid or not paid. So income and expenditures of previous year and future year are not recorded. And if they are received during the year and they're included during the year, that item has to be adjusted. So total subscription received during the year as given in the receipt and payment account is 1 lakh. So in this, we will be adding outstanding subscription of the current year, that is 40,000, and subscription received in advance in previous year for current year, that is 30,000. So 40,000 and 30,000 that will be added, and outstanding subscription of previous year, that is 20,000, it will be deducted, and subscription received in advance in current year for future year, that is 20,000, that will be deducted. So let us see its presentation in income and expenditure account. So this is basically an extract of income and expenditure account, where see on the income side, subscription received 1 lakh, where we will add outstanding subscription of current year, that is 40,000, and subscription received in advance in previous year for current year, that is 30,000. Then two items will be deducted, that is subscription received in advance in current year for future year, that is 20,000, it will be deducted, and outstanding subscription of previous year of 20,000, it will be deducted. So after the treatment, net amount is 1,30,000. It will be shown in income and expenditure account. So basically what treatment is done, all the items which is received of the previous year and future year, that are reduced, and income of current year, whether received or not received, that is added. Now how it will be recorded in the balance sheet of the current year? In current year, subscription received in advance is 20,000 for future year. Since it is a liability, so it will be recorded in the liability side of the balance sheet. Subscription outstanding of the current year, that is subscription earned but not received, since it is an asset, so 40,000, that will be recorded on the asset side. So this was the basically treatment of subscription in the final accounts of non-profit organization. In this way, you can solve the subscription questions. So this was just a part of the question. You will be getting a full-fledged question where subscription will be part of that question.
Now let us study one full-fledged question of non-profit organization, where we'll be studying the treatment of various items which we have studied in this video. So from the following receipt and payment account of Friends Club for the year ended 31st March 2021, prepare income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st March 2021 and balance sheet as at that date. So receipt and payment account is given. As you know, all the receipts are recorded on the debit side and all payments are recorded on the credit side. So we'll be studying the items one by one and I'll be telling you how you're going to treat these items. Apart from the receipt and payment account, there is some additional information which was given to you. So we will be dealing with that additional information as well as receipt and payment account. Talking about the first item, that is cash in hand, opening cash in hand. So opening cash in hand, where will we record this? We will be recording it in the opening balance sheet, which will be at the balance sheet as at 31st March 2020. So opening balance sheet, on the asset side, you are going to record this cash in hand. Next is entrance fee. So entrance fee, we have studied in this video that it is a revenue receipt and it will be recorded on the receipt and payment account debit side as it is shown. So its treatment in income and expenditure account. So entrance fee, that is of 55,200, it will be recorded in income and expenditure account, income side. Then next item is subscription. Total subscription received is 2,20,000. So additional information of subscription is given that subscription in arrear on 1st April 2020 were 6,000. So previous year का outstanding subscription था 6,000 और current year का outstanding subscription है 7,000. So how you are going to deal with it? So outstanding subscription of previous year, that is 6,000, that will be deducted from 2,20,000, and current year subscription which is outstanding of 7,000, that will be added in the income and expenditure account. As it is being told कि income and expenditure account में खाली current year की income whether received or not received is recorded, बट प्रीवियस ईयर का अगर कोई भी अमाउंट रिसीव हुआ है तो उसे डिडक्ट करना पड़ेगा. तो इसलिए सब्सक्रिप्शन आप इनकम साइड पे 2,20,000 में से 6,000 लेस कर देंगे और 7,000 ऐड कर देंगे. नेक्स्ट आइटम है डोनेशन. अब डोनेशन के बारे में कुछ भी नहीं लिखा हुआ तो इसका मतलब ये जनरल डोनेशन है, और जो जनरल डोनेशन किसी स्पेसिफिक पर्पस के लिए नहीं दी जाती उसे हम कहाँ रिकॉर्ड करते हैं? इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट, credit side, that is the income side. The next item is tournament fund. अब tournament fund जो है एक specific fund किसी particular tournament के लिए ही दिया गया है. तो अगर किसी specific purpose के लिए fund दिया गया है तो इसे record करेंगे हम balance sheet की current year की balance sheet में liabilities side. करंट ईयर बैलेंस शीट लाइबिलिटी साइड इट इज रिकॉर्डेड. और आप साथ ही साथ देखिए पेमेंट साइड में टूर्नामेंट एक्सपेंसेस दिए हुए हैं 1,85,000. तो टूर्नामेंट फंड 2,60,000 में से आप ये एक्सपेंसेस 1,85,000 लेस कर देंगे और नेट अमाउंट शो कर देंगे 75,000. इसी तरह नेक्स्ट आइटम है आपकी इंटरेस्ट. अब इंटरेस्ट जो है वो एक रेवेन्यू रिसीट है, तो interest will be recorded in income and expenditure account, income side. Next is sale of old newspapers. ये भी आपकी revenue receipt है, तो इसे भी हम income and expenditure account के income side पर record करेंगे. फिर है legacy. अब legacy हमने discuss किया था कि ये capital receipt है, तो legacy जो है वो balance sheet, current year की balance sheet में liability side में record होगा. इसी तरह लाइफ मेंबरशिप फी जो कि मेंबर्स लमसम में देते हैं मेंबर बनने के लिए, ये भी एक कैपिटल रिसीट है, तो इसे भी हम बैलेंस करंट ईयर की बैलेंस शीट लाइबिलिटी साइड में रिकॉर्ड करेंगे. फिर नेक्स्ट आइटम है रिसीट का सरप्लस फ्रॉम कल्चरल बैकग्राउंड. सो ये भी रेवेन्यू रिसीट है, ये भी रेकरिंग नेचर का है, तो इसे भी हम इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट के क्रेडिट साइड में रिकॉर्ड करेंगे. तो इसी तरह जितनी भी आइटम्स रिसीट्स की थी इनका हमने ट्रीटमेंट समझ लिया है. सो अब हम स्टडी करते हैं पेमेंट साइड की आइटम्स को. तो पहला है रेंट एंड टैक्सेस. अब रेंट एंड टैक्सेस टोटल जो दिए गए हैं वो है 86,100, बट इनकी एडिशनल इंफॉर्मेशन ये दी गई है कि लास्ट ईयर दैट इज 1st April 2020 में जो रेंट आउटस्टैंडिंग था वो 18,000 था, और इस साल भी करंट ईयर के एंड में भी आउटस्टैंडिंग रेंट है 18,000। इसका मतलब 86,100 में पिछले साल का रेंट भी दिया होगा। तो जो पिछले साल का रेंट इस साल दिया गया है उसे तो हम क्या कर देंगे, लेस कर देंगे, और जो करंट ईयर का आउटस्टैंडिंग है उसे क्या कर देंगे, ऐड कर देंगे। क्योंकि इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट में जितने भी एक्सपेंसेस जो हैं वो करंट ईयर के रिकॉर्ड करेंगे जाएंगे, वेदर पेड और नॉट पेड। सो 86,100 में हम 18,000 ऐड कर देंगे और 18,000 ही लेस कर देंगे। ठीक है। देन नेक्स्ट इज सैलरीज। तो सैलरी भी इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट के एक्सपेंडिचर साइड रिकॉर्ड करी जाएगी। इलेक्ट्रिसिटी चार्जेस ये भी एक्सपेंडिचर साइड पे रिकॉर्ड किए जाएंगे। ऑनरेरियम, दिस इज ऑल्सो ऑफ रेवेन्यू नेचर, so revenue expenditure, so it will be recorded income and expenditure account, expenditure side. Then tournament expenses we have done the treatment. Then general expenses ये भी income and expenditure account के expenditure side आएंगे। Next है books. Now books are asset. तो current year में books purchase करी गई हैं 31,200 की। तो जो बुक्स परचेज करी गई हैं, अब आपके पास एडिशनल इन्फॉर्मेशन है कि क्लब के पास पहले ही पिछले साल बुक्स थी 3 लाख रुपीस की, और इस साल परचेज करी हैं 31,200 की, और उन्होंने बोला है बुक्स को डेप्रिशिएट किया जाए किससे, 30,000 से। तो जो लास्ट ईयर की बुक्स हैं दैट इज ऑफ 30,000। लास्ट ईयर की बुक्स जो हैं वो लास्ट ईयर की बैलेंस शीट में एसेट साइड में शो कर देंगे 3 लाख। अब करंट ईयर की बैलेंस शीट में जो लास्ट ईयर की बुक्स हैं ऑब्वियसली वो करंट ईयर में भी होंगी, जो नई बुक्स खरीदी हैं उन्हें ऐड कर देंगे और डेप्रिसिएशन को लेस कर देंगे। और हमें एक और चीज़ पता है कि इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट में हम डेप्रिसिएशन को भी रिकॉर्ड करेंगे। तो आपका इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट में एक्सपेंडिचर साइड में दैट इज डेबिट साइड में डेप्रिसिएशन ऑन बुक्स आ जाएगा 30,000। नेक्स्ट इज ऑफिस एक्सपेंसेस, ये भी इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट के एक्सपेंडिचर साइड आएंगे। फिर नेक्स्ट इज न्यूज़पेपर्स, न्यूज़पेपर्स भी इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट के डेबिट साइड में दैट इज द एक्सपेंडिचर साइड इट विल बी रिकॉर्डेड। देन नेक्स्ट इज इन्वेस्टमेंट्स। अब इन्वेस्टमेंट्स जो हैं ये हमारी एसेट होती हैं, तो इन्वेस्टमेंट्स विल बी रिकॉर्डेड in the current year balance sheet on the asset side. Okay, then next we have that is furniture. Now furniture is purchased for 58,000, or let's say not furniture is not purchased for 58,000. Actually it is given in the additional information that furniture of 58,000 was there in the previous year, and furniture is to be depreciated by 5,000. So 5,000 depreciation will come in income and expenditure account, expenditure side, and in current year balance sheet it will be recorded 58,000 minus that is 5,000. फर्नीचर आप रिकॉर्ड करेंगे प्रीवियस ईयर की बैलेंस शीट में एज वेल एज करंट ईयर की बैलेंस शीट में आप फर्नीचर में से डेप्रिसिएशन को डिडक्ट कर देंगे। Then finally last item is cash at bank and cash in hand. It will be recorded in current year balance sheet on the asset side. And then you can so additional information as we have already discussed in the question. So when you revise again, you can study this information, and we have done the treatment of all the four statements which are given related to books, furniture, subscription, rent, and depreciation on furniture and books. So in this way, income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st March 2021 is being prepared, and we have already discussed each and every item. So after doing the treatment of all the expenditure and income, so we will close the account in order to calculate whether we get the surplus or deficit. So as the income side is more, so after adding the income, we will deduct all the expenses, and as you can see, we got a surplus that is of 800. So how we got 800? As I've already told, the income side is total and all the expenditures are deducted. Then we got the surplus. So after income and expenditure account, we have prepared balance sheet, previous balance sheet and the current year balance sheet. So previous balance sheet is prepared at 1st April 2020, where we have recorded, as we have already discussed, the opening cash balance, outstanding subscription of previous year, books which were in the opening balance sheet, furniture, and then rent outstanding was given, and then we calculated the resulting figure, that is capital fund, and this capital fund will be recorded in the current year balance sheet. And इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट का जो भी सरप्लस कैलकुलेट हुआ है वो कैपिटल फंड में ऐड कर दिया जाएगा. बाकी की सारी ट्रीटमेंट्स हमने ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर ली रिगार्डिंग लाइफ मेंबरशिप फी, टूर्नामेंट फंड, लेगेसी, rent outstanding, closing cash and bank balance, investments, books. जो प्रीवियस ईयर की बुक्स हैं उसमें करंट ईयर की परचेजेस और डेप्रिसिएशन को लेस कर देंगे तो फाइनल बुक्स विच आर एट द एंड ऑफ द करंट ईयर इट इज शोन. Similarly, outstanding subscription of current year, that is also recorded. And finally, we got the balance sheet total, which is equal, as you know, balance sheet के liabilities और asset side बराबर होनी चाहिए. इसी तरह आप आगे भी जितने भी questions हैं, full fledged questions you can solve, and this is in this way the other questions would be easily solved. Thank you, students.